He identifies four sources of knowledge. He calls them the theologians, the mutakallimun, and then the falasifa, the rationalists, and then the batiniya, the occultists, like people that seek knowledge through the occult, through hidden, arcane knowledge, esoteric knowledge. And then finally the mystics, who at that time were called Sufiya, which should not be confused with what a lot of people associate with so-called Sufiya, because there's Imam al-Ghazali was one of the great critics of these so-called Sufis. And he was actually, if you look at him, he's far more critical of Sufism than not. In the Ihya, he's constantly condemning a lot of practices. But he recognized intuition, that the knowledge that the people of Tasawwuf are talking about is intuitive knowledge. It's kashf knowledge. And he realizes that this is essentially real knowledge, because there's a Berkeley professor, Paul Feyerabend, who wrote a book called Against Method, in which he argued, it's a very radical book, and I'm not recommending people read it, but I did read it many, many years ago. And one of the arguments he made, which is very interesting in the book, is that he said that scientific method has never helped any major discoveries in science. All major discoveries in science were intuitive. Scientific method is what helps the dummies understand it. But the actual breakthroughs came from great moments of insight. And you will find this, many of the Nobel Prize winners. I mean, Linus Pauling, who won the Nobel Prize in chemistry, he saw the whole thing in a fever, like in his mind. Now, one could argue all their study helps produce those moments, and that's very possible. But the point is, intuition is an underrated understanding of knowledge, heads, because all of knowledge is founded on the concept, and the concept is mystical in its essence. Just the fact that we have consciousness, the fact that we can see things and perceive them, and then take the one out of the many and abstract, and all these things are coming out of an intuitive source that we don't understand. Some will call it the agent intellect. There's a lot of debates about where that knowledge comes from, but essentially it is a mystical type of knowledge that is the foundation of all knowledge. And so he realized that that was the real, true knowledge.